Hello, dear viewer. A lot of you guys have been asking for this video. It's been almost a year. So anyhow, today I'm going to give it to you. Part 2 of my retrospective on kinks. Today we're going to talk about autoerotic asphyxiation. I know you guys have been waiting for a long time for me to choke myself, and those sounds, something's not right here. Those sounds. The wife has a familiar looking plushie. She's playing Final Fantasy. Oh shit! Hooray, hooray. Part 2 of the Final Fantasy thingy that you've been waiting for. Now you're sure that you don't want me to just choke myself, right? Alright, here it is. Final Fantasy VII Onward. Except for 15, because I never played it. Final Fantasy VII was the younger crowd's first foray into the series, and even into JRPGs in general, so it holds something of a god rank among gamers. I love this game almost as much as I love Final Fantasy VI. Really, 6 and 7 were what most Final Fantasy fans agree is the peak of the series in general. I rented this one initially, but then I found I was renting it so much I spent almost as much as I would have if I had just bought it in the first place. So I did. And a few months later, after putting it down, I exclaimed, "Where am I?"
Okay, so I am super nostalgic for this game. I've played it through more times than I can count, because at one point it was the only game I owned. And when I beat it, I just restarted it. It was a pretty troubled time in my life, and focusing on the game kept me from falling into even more depression than I was already in. I spent a lot of time drawing the characters when I wasn't playing the game, too. My dad would often crash on the couch behind me and comment on it. He always said he liked the music. The boss theme was rockin', Aerith's theme was so gentle and heartbreaking, Cid's theme sounded heroic. The first video game soundtrack I ever owned was for this game, and we would put on the world map theme to help us all fall asleep. I still like falling asleep to that even now. It's so damn relaxing. It was the first game we stopped to appreciate the music as well as the game itself as we were playing.
My favorite moment in the game is the entirety of Cid's arc in the story when you first enter Rocket Town. You learn why Cid is embittered. The man gave up on his dream to save Shera's life. But you also learn one way or another he was going to have to give up on that dream, as Shinra had already planned to defund the space project. Palmer is an absolute bastard, and seeing him get hit by a truck is goddamn satisfying.
Oh yeah.
Also, the tiny Bronco is the coolest looking air vehicle in all of Final Fantasy. You heard it here first.
Okay, so there's this side quest where Yuffie steals the party's materia. For years, I hated this event, but you have to do it to get some materias that aren't available anywhere else. The last time I played it, I took Cid instead of Aerith as my third party member. Cid loses his shit in his well-known, bad-mouthed way, and it's hysterical. Other favorite moments include the bitch-slapping minigame between Tifa and Scarlet.
that slapping thing.
Yeah, learning Cid's backstory with Shera and Rocket Town. Cid Shera OTP forever. And where the ship is about to be blown up in the ending, but Cid pulls the switch and unlocks the Highwind's true form to save the crew. It's so awesome.
Should stand to reason that my favorite character is Cid. He's easily the most fleshed out character in the game, the one who grows the most, the only one who doesn't seem shoehorned in to sell posters and merch, and he's also complex and multifaceted. I really loved having him as the party leader. Chocobo races with Cid as your rider! Special mention to Kate Sheath, or Kate Sith if you prefer. Doesn't matter how you pronounce it, because of Reeve. Reeve is also a great character with good motivations, and I always loved how coyly he plays his role of quasi-double informant. He also has a kickin' character theme song. My favorite character theme song image track in the whole game.
By far, my favorite character in this game is also Cid Highwind.
High five!
Woo! For starters, since my dad was always commenting on the game, I always had him read out Cid's text boxes, so I always hear my dad's voice for Cid. Sid became like my fictional father that way. Because of that, I have a real soft spot in my heart for Papa Sid, and I can never leave him out of my party. Shout out goes to my girl Aerith, who was my very first cosplay. I liked her much more when I was younger because I liked the whole mysterious last of her race sort of story, when I know it's kind of cliche now. And her death rocked my world so much that I couldn't fight Jenova right after. My brother picked up the controller and fought Jenova for me because I was hurt so much.
I'm okay.
If only.
If only.
This is the game where minigames really started to become an FF tradition, and my favorite has got to be the Koopa.
Wait, what are you talking about?
Koopa. I can't even say that with a straight face.
You ass.
But not really. Chocobo breeding and racing. I must have sunk hundreds of hours doing nothing but making chocobos make more chocobos, and then running those chocobos. With Sid as my rider!
Who else can ride them?
God, I love the chocobos in Final Fantasy VII. It's Work, not Que. That's gotta be a t-shirt. I am on Team Work.
I loved playing on the snowboards, but nowhere near as much as I loved running chocobos until they were half dead, only to feed them steroid greens from the Choco Sage and make them run and force them to breed more! Yeah, okay, whatever. You know the materia was worth all the inbreeding. Fight me.
Favorite location? Where the hell else? Bone Village.
Uh-huh.
Okay, the Golden Saucer. I love this quasi-Disneyland. I love how the architecture makes absolutely no sense. Every tube is located to every other part of the park. How?
It's fantasy. Whatever.
I love this place so much. I wanted this place to exist.
Yeah.
Back before I became a YouTuber, I'd written a parody song about the Golden Saucer, and yes, I will sing it for you. This is for you, Jake. We need to bring back our Final Fantasy parody musicals, my friend.
They used to go something like this. At the Golden Saucer, you can lose everything but your boxers. At the Golden Saucer, chocobos and fighting all sound really inviting. At the Golden, he lost his life. The Golden Saucer.
My favorite location is probably the Chocobo Sage's cottage.
Try to say that one 10 times fast. Chocobo Sage Cottage, Chocobo Sage Cottage, Chocobo Sage Cottage.
Stop it, you. He looks like an old black mage from the olden days, and he has a green chocobo.
Mountain Chocobo.
That will give you an enemy skill materia for free, and it's so far away from people. I like how secluded it is. I want his cottage in the middle of the snowy mountains. I wonder if his greens are safe for human consumption, and if he grows them in his house or in the basement.
As with Final Fantasy VI, it's extremely difficult for me to just pick one theme song from this game, but I'll try. Actually, I don't need to think hard. It's Listen to the Cries of the Planet. This is the theme that plays as you enter the Forgotten Capital. Knowing what I know now makes this an even more powerful theme. This is the theme that gives you an ominous feeling that something bad is fixing to happen, and when Aerith finally dies, your fears are confirmed. From the otherworldly synth vocals repeating themselves in the background to the ominous bell gongs, even today, this theme sends chills down my spine.
Because of my emotional connection with this game, my favorite themes are both Sid's character theme and the overworld map theme. I've always been inspired by Sid's personal theme. It really does feel powerful and heroic, but more than that is the overworld theme. I used to play it for my family to fall asleep to, and to me, that song sounds like home. It's hard for me not to cry when I listen to it because I miss how my family was back then. It's melancholic in a great way, and I find it to be the best lullaby.
You got a favorite materia, sweetie?
Enemy skill! I always complete it, I always go out of my way for those spells. Big Guard is the most useful, and White Wind is my favorite healing spell in the game, too. Eee!
I like how Matra Magic looked.
But missiles!
As for me, I always like pairing up Final Attack and Phoenix. The word you're looking for is broken.
If you're a Final Fantasy fan, you've already played this by now. Chances are, this is the game that even brought Final Fantasy into your life at all. And honestly, I don't think that's really a bad thing. The battle system for this one is probably my favorite because I love the limit breaks and Materias. The story is good, even if overrated by a lot of fans sometimes, and there are some genuinely heartfelt moments here. I know why this game has become as popular as it did, and I'm proud to count myself among its fan base. But please, don't even bring up the love triangle. I am so tired of people only talking about Cloud being with Tifa or Aerith when that's not even the most awesome aspect of this game.
Basically, if you have 100 hours or so to spare and want to inject some classic JRPG turn-based goodness into your life, get Final Fantasy VII and find out what so many people have been talking about for 20 years. Jesus, I can't believe this game is 20 years old now. Final Fantasy VIII is the game we'll talk about next time on the Final Fantasy 30-year retrospective thingy.
Stay tuned! I can't wait to talk about Quistis and all her blue magic and all the GFs. I like to name them all after foods and...
Is that a freaking Final Fantasy VIII pendant you have on your neck there?
His name is Griever! He's the strongest of all the GFs! Didn't you know that Ultimisia summons him in the final battle?
Oh my god, I'm going to hate the next episode. Till next time, dear viewer. So for all of you wondering, how on earth did this video get made? It's our anniversary today again, and you can thank my wife for insisting. Happy anniversary, sweetie.
11 years now.
Yeah. But yeah, we will finish this Final Fantasy retrospective at some point.